Should be the things not on me, abi. Correspondent chronicles why June 12, 1993 is an important date in Nigeria's history.
Sequel to the resignation of the former head of the interim national government and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, Chief Ernest Shoneka, and my subsequent appointment as head of state and commander-in-chief,
Federal Estate Road Express worry over unoccupied estate conversion into hub of criminal activities.
Now, they did not inform him that some people are coming, and besides, today, on the norm self, he's not supposed to be here. Today is his work.
Nobody there, if you even go there now, nobody, even the house, if they say the house, they talk self. If you come, they say, I bear more than 2 person, that they sleep around us.
This one where they talk, now if you reach 7 o'clock for there, you pass and the people there, they say they rob. How said you carry money, or will not be passed there. Without say, will not go follow long journey, entire house.
Adams Oshiomhole petitions aviation minister over alleged extortion by Air Peace.
To the airport, I have my checking in. They deny me. Then when somebody now went, he said, it's Oshiomhole. Then the senior manager came out. I said, okay, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no. And if a forcing ride means I'm causing trouble, I want to cause trouble forever. Because I don't see how the world is going to prosper if people will do this kind of extortion.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6, reaching you live from Benin City, the Edo State capital. My name is Harmony Agbafor, and now to the news in details. June 12 remains a watershed in Nigeria's history, the plinth on which pillars of democracy in the country stand. The takeoff point for Nigeria's Fourth Republic, the June 12, 1993 presidential election, produced Nigeria's freest and fairest presidential election. As the country observes Democracy Day, today our senior reporter, Best Orator, in this special report will highlight key events that played out on Democracy Day. The report.
The 1993 presidential election was presumed won by business mogul Moshood Abiola over his sole opponent Bashir Tofa. The election broke the barriers of regionalism, ethnic particularism, religion, and sectarianism. It was Nigeria's first major transitional mandate, facilitated by the military regime's engineered two-party system. Every corner of Nigeria stood still for MKO Abiola during his campaigns. The people came out in their numbers in solidarity and support. The decision to declare June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day and to shift the date from May 29 was made by former President Muhammadu Buhari on June 6, 2018. The shift was significant as he recognized the historical importance of June 12, 1993 in Nigeria's democratic journey. On June 12, 1993, Nigeria held a presidential election widely regarded as the freest and fairest in the country's history. The election was conducted between Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, popularly known as MKO Abiola, representing the Social Democratic Party SDP, and Alhaji Bashir Tofa, representing the National Republican Convention NRC. The election had a high voter turnout and was characterized by widespread support across ethnic, religious, and regional lines. However, before the results were announced, the military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida annulled the election, thereby denying Nigerians the opportunity to witness a democratic transition. This act sparked widespread protests and civil unrest across the country, with many Nigerians demanding the restoration of Chief MKO Abiola's mandate.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
Chief MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of the annulled election, became a symbol of Nigeria's struggle for democracy. He was subsequently arrested and detained by the military government. Tragically, he died in custody on July 7, 1998, under suspicious circumstances.
Sequel to the resignation of the former head of the interim national government and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, Chief Anas Shoneka, and my subsequent appointment as head of state and commander-in-chief, I have had extensive consultations within the armed forces hierarchy and other well-meaning Nigerians in a bid to find solutions to the various political, economic, and social problems which have engulfed our beloved country and which have made life most difficult to the ordinary citizens of this nation. Chief Anas Shoneka took over as head of state and commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces at the most trying time in the history of our country. Politically, economically, and socially, there were lots of uncertainties.
These developments led to a massive protest as millions of Nigerians occupied the streets protesting the arrest of MKO Abiola. In recognition of the significance of June 12 and the role played by Chief MKO Abiola in Nigeria's democratic struggle, former President Muhammadu Buhari declared June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day. This decision was made to honor Chief MKO Abiola and acknowledge the sacrifices made by him and other pro-democracy activists. Let's now take a critical look at 8 events that played out on June 12, 1993 and why it is important to Nigeria's history. On this day, Nigeria held its first presidential elections after the military coup of 1983, which was headed by Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. The June 12 election is considered the freest and most peaceful election since Nigeria's independence in 1960. The counting process of the elections by the National Electoral Commission revealed a victory for MKO Abiola as he already won 19 out of the 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory. However, the elections were annulled by Ibrahim Babangida and no winner was declared. The annulment led to political unrest and several protests erupted across the country. In June 1994, Abiola declared himself the president and commander-in-chief. He was then arrested and charged with treason. On July 7, 1998, Abiola died while in detention on the day he was supposed to be released. Ibrahim Babangida resigned as the head of state and Ernest Shonekan emerged as the head of the interim government. Not long after, Shonekan's administration was overthrown by General Sani Abacha. Abacha died on June 8, 1998, a month prior to Abiola's death. Before President Buhari's declaration, June 12 used to be celebrated as Abiola Day, mostly in the southwestern part of Nigeria, as a remembrance of MKO Abiola's denied presidency. The shift from May 29 to June 12 as Democracy Day by former President Muhammadu Buhari was also accompanied by a posthumous award of Nigeria's highest national honor, the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, to Chief MKO Abiola. In addition, the former Vice President during that time, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, announced that the federal government would organize events to commemorate June 12 each year and celebrate Nigeria's democracy process. This declaration and recognition of June 12 as Democracy Day marked a significant milestone in Nigeria's democratic history. It serves as a way to acknowledge the struggles and sacrifices made by Nigerians for democracy and to honor the memory of Chief MKO Abiola, who played a crucial role in Nigeria's democratic journey. And that's a special report on June 12. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
Lessons of June 12 and renew their commitment to the principles of democracy, justice, and unity. Governor Okpebholo emphasized that June 12 serves as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by patriotic Nigerians who championed the cause of true democracy. He urged citizens to safeguard the hard-won freedoms and democratic gains. The governor highlighted his administration's dedication to people-centered governance, noting that the SHINE agenda is geared towards delivering tangible improvements in the lives of Edo people across all sectors including security, healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, and education. He further urged Edo citizens to continue their active participation in the democratic process, holding leaders accountable and contributing constructively to the state's development. Governor Okpebholo wishes all Edo people and Nigerians a peaceful and a reflective democracy. The governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has called on all Edo State residents and Nigerians to reflect on the enduring lessons of June 12 and renew their commitment to the principles of democracy, justice, and unity. Governor Okpebholo emphasized that June 12 serves as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by patriotic Nigerians who championed the cause of true democracy. He urged citizens to safeguard the hard-won freedoms and democratic gains. The governor highlighted his administration's dedication to people-centered governance, noting that the SHINE agenda is geared towards delivering tangible improvements in the lives of Edo people across all sectors, including security, healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, and education. He further urged Edo citizens to continue their active participation in the democratic process, holding leaders accountable and contributing constructively to the state's development. Governor Okpebholo wishes all Edo people and Nigerians a peaceful and reflective Democracy Day and prays for continued peace, unity and progress in the state and the nation. As Nigeria marks 26 years of uninterrupted democratic governance since the return to civilian rule in 1999, author and national advocate Dr. Amen Ogbemudia has issued a passionate appeal to Nigerian leaders and youth alike, calling for a renewed commitment to self-leadership and genuine service to the people. In a statement released to commemorate Democracy Day, Dr. Ogbemudia reflected on the significance of June 12 as a symbol of Nigeria's struggle for justice, equity, and accountable governance, saying that June 12 is not just a date in Nigerian history, it is a call to action. A call to uphold the values of democracy through integrity, sacrifice, and people-centered leadership. She used the occasion to appeal directly to the nation's top leaders, urging them to remain faithful to the promises of democracy and to prioritize the well-being of all Nigerians. Dr. Amen Ogbemudia used the medium to appeal to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to continue to seek the routes that will bring real progress, equity, and prosperity to the nation. Dr. Ogbemudia also used appeals to Edo State government, Senator Monday Okpebolo, to lead with empathy, courage, and vision. She said the state yearns for development and that touches every home, healthcare, education, job creation, and security, adding that this is a moment to stand tall in service to the people and leave a legacy that generations will remember with pride. She emphasized that democracy is not solely the responsibility of elected officials, but also of citizens who must participate actively and responsibly in the democratic process. Dr. Amen Ogbemudia concluded her message by calling for a collective recommitment to the spirit of June 12, a spirit of resilience, unity, and national purpose. Chairman, Senate Committee on Interior, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, has petitioned Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, over alleged extortion of passengers by some airlines at the country's airports. BeeTv News Best Orator has details.
On Wednesday, the streets of social media was flooded with development between Senator Adams Oshiomhole, the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, and officials of Air Peace in Lagos, with many trying to paint the senator in bad light that he disrupted flight operations. Reacting to the development, Senator Adams Oshiomhole denied allegations of disrupting the operations of Air Peace on Wednesday at the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. He clarified that his insistence that he should not be treated differently from other frustrated passengers led to the falsehood narrative against him.
To the airport, I have my checking in. They deny me. Then when somebody now went, I said, it's Oshiomhole. Then the senior manager came out. I said, okay, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no. I don't want personal favor. I want my right and the right of these Nigerians to be enforced.
The senator said he stood up against systematic extortion and poor customer service by the Nigerian airline. Air Peace had issued a statement where it accused Adams Oshiomhole of allegedly disrupting airport operations after missing a scheduled flight. The airline alleged that Comrade Adams Oshiomhole had arrived late for flight P47120, which was scheduled to depart for Abuja at 6:30 a.m. However, briefing journalists in Abuja, the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District said his recent experiences with Air Peace highlighted the growing impunity and disregard for passengers' rights in the country's aviation sector. He told journalists that he had already written a comprehensive report of his experience to the Minister of Aviation, who, according to him, had assured him that he would probe the matter. The former governor of Edo State showed documentary evidence and videos about how airlines were frustrating passengers at the airport, which he said had been forwarded to the minister for necessary action. Oshiomhole explained that he had arrived at the airport at 10 minutes past 6 for a 6:50 p.m. flight on Tuesday, but was denied a boarding pass, even though he had met the airline's check-in deadline of 30 minutes before departure.
And if a forcing ride means I'm causing trouble, I want to cause trouble forever. Because I don't see how the world is going to prosper if people will do this kind of extortion. 109,000 more to be paid to be moved from 6:30 flight to 8:30 flight. Same destination, same airline. Now in the process, Nigeria, they've heard my voice, more people are coming in. Oh, Oga help us, Oga help us. But how do I help? I have to now become unofficial spokesperson for the frustrated passengers.
Reacting to claims that he caused a disruption, Comrade Adams Eric Oshomole said he remained calm but firm and only intervened when a crowd of stranded passengers, including women with babies, began to protest. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
Residents of Federal Estate Road in Idunwehigie community along Benin-Auchi Road have expressed fears over the conversion of the unoccupied housing estate into a hub for various criminal activities. BeeTv News' Osarogi Agwebo, who visited the area, reports that the news crew was denied access to the estate by some individuals who claim to be security operatives tasked with overseeing the premises.
Now, they did not inform him that some people are coming, and besides, today, on the norm self, he's not supposed to be here. Today is his work free day because today is public holiday. Okay. And they did not be saying, today, sir, people are not supposed to work because today is a public holiday. It's not going But they know if there's a security post, it will say, yeah, get gate. They're supposed to even lock the gate of here.
That was the situation at the housing estate in Idunwehigie community along Benin-Auchi Road, where the news crew was denied access into the estate by individuals who claim to be security operatives overseeing the estate. Their actions suggest that they have something to hide. The crew observed that the estate was deserted and overgrown with tall grass 3 years after its inauguration by President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by then Minister of Health, Dr. Sergei Iyaneri, under Governor Obaseki's administration as Governor of Edo State. In an interview with some residents of the area about why the estate was still unoccupied, the residents said they do not know why the estate is wasting away, but revealed that the estate had become a hub for criminal activities, especially during late hours where criminals hide inside the buildings to carry out their nefarious activities.
This one where they talk now, if you reach 7 o'clock for there, you pass and the people they don't say they rob. Handset you carry money or will not be pass there. Without say we not go follow long journey enter house. The estate now we not even see people for there. We say by now people they live for that estate. They don't do and finish. Boy, all blocked up. They inside. So make they come, make people if not to rent and they want to do one, make they do one, make that place. In the night now, one of they pass there because nobody dates here. It they lowly. So make they do one, maybe say people go there that estate. Then from there, the government people see they look here, they go do one.
They not be not the builder. Don't tell where they build them. Nobody they say. If they go agree, make person go they stay for free. Make for go there. They not agree, make person stay for free. Make the couple people because for that place now you not feel enter that road for night because if they stay there, they rob people.
The residents who said they are now afraid to enter their streets at night appeal to the government to come to their rescue and occupy the estate to prevent it from being used as a criminal hub.
Since when they just talk and finish, even the place now people not see us enter. They don't only just build the place now. They not even people. The place can't be like a abandoned project. They not the few pass them again. Nobody there. If you even go there now, nobody. Even the house, if they say the house, they talk safe. If you come, they say a bear moon and poor person, make that they sweep around us.
The residents of this area are worried about the estate that was inaugurated over 2 years ago, but remains unoccupied. They are calling on the government to occupy it, as it has become a hub for criminal activity from the Idunwehigie community along the Benin-Auchi Road. Reporting from BeeTv.
Family members, friends, dignitaries, and well-wishers gathered in a colorful and heartwarming celebration to honor Mrs. Jane Nobore, wife of the member of the Edo State House of Assembly Commission, Mr. Paul Nobore, who turned 60 in grand style. The milestone birthday event held at the celebrant's residence was used as a beautiful tribute to a woman whose life has been defined by grace, compassion, and unwavering dedication to family, faith, and service. BeeTv News' Best Orator has the report.
Mrs. Jane Enobore, a loving wife, a respected businesswoman and beloved matriarch, has spent the past 6 decades touching lives and building a legacy anchored in love, mentorship and community impact. Her journey from humble beginnings to becoming a pillar in both business and humanitarian cycles.
As like I normally call her, is a woman who has focus in relationship, in business. I always trust her word to the bank. So I appreciate her, I love her. Like I said, she's a good mother.
She grows older like good wine. She will mature into the person of her dreams. And that above all things, in this world, she will have a good, stable, enjoyable life.
The kind of love that you show me and everything is like just out of this world. And I wish you the very best. Happy, happy, happy birthday.
The event was a dazzling mist of elegance and cozy ambience for merriment. Guests were treated to a red carpet welcome and ushered into a beautifully decorated space at the celebrant's residence with white, black and gold floral arrangements. The celebrant made a grand entrance in a regal custom-made gown, radiating elegance and joy. The celebration drew a distinguished crowd, including top government officials, industrialists, religious figures, and longtime friends. Guests were treated to performances by different groups.
I want to wish her a very, very, very happy birthday. Long life, prosperity. I want to let her know on her birthday, on her 60th birthday, that I love her very much.
On the occasion of her 60th birthday, I just thank God for her life, and I pray that God will continue to prosper her, promote her in all ramifications of life.
Heartfelt speeches poured in from friends and family members, praising Mrs. Jane Obore's strength of character, leadership, and boundless generosity.
On behalf of my wife, that is a very good friend, my children, my family, I want to congratulate you on this auspicious occasion of your birthday celebration. I pray that God will grant you very many more years.
Put my head on her shoulder and say, I have a sister. She is an event planner. You can see she always has a way of putting serious and quality touch to anything she does in life.
The celebrant was visibly moved during the cake cutting ceremony, surrounded by her husband, Mr. Paul Enobore, extended family members, and longtime friends, as a fireworks display lit up the night sky.
Jesus! It's time to party.
Guests enjoyed a sumptuous buffet featuring a blend of Nigerian and continental cuisine, complete with our 5-tier birthday cake, cocktail stations, and live musical performances. The atmosphere was electric with laughter, music, and shared memories as the dance floor stayed alive late into the evening. In her heartfelt remarks, Mrs. Jane Obori expressed deep gratitude to everyone who made her day special: her husband, son, family members, and friends.
I think he's my best friend, he's my confidant, and he listens to me, and he is there 100%, and he's selfless. And they are both an amazing people, him and my son. So I say I have two men that, you know, drag me from left and right, and every moment of the day I just enjoy both of them, their presence and all that. And I pray God to keep him, sustain him, in everything that he does, and God should give him a long life.
The celebration was not just a birthday, it was a reflection of a life well lived, a heart well loved, and a woman whose impact will echo for generations to come. Dignitaries who attended the event include former two-time senator representing Edo South Senatorial District, Senator Matthew Uruhide, former member House of Representatives, Honorable Razak Bello Usagi, Edo State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Honorable Barrister BC Idaomi Esquire, Deputy National Treasurer of All Progressives Congress, Chief Omoede Osifo, former Chairman Isako Central Local Government Area, and former member Edo State House of Assembly and Chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Barrister Pascal Ugbome, Empress Philo Igbinedion, among notable dignitaries, friends, and family members. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
The Uromi Crusade at St. Matthew Royal College, Aideni, in appreciation to God for the birthday celebration of Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo and the 29th anniversary of the Matthew Okpebolo Foundation, again attracted a large number of people. The event had various guests, ministers, and different groups who demonstrated their love for God and Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo. The report by BeeTv News Efosa Prayer is presented by Evelyn Izebili.
Final day of the Uromi Crusade held in honor of Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo on the occasion of his 75th birthday to appreciate God for what he has done for the celebrants over the years and for the 29th anniversary of the Matthew Okpebolo Foundation began with an open prayer and praise, special ministrations by various groups, Salvation Army and CGMI Choir. This was followed by a welcome address by the chairman organizing committee, Reverend Fred Odije, who highlighted humanitarian services of Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo, which includes award of scholarships, construction of specialist hospital to meet the medical needs of the poor, and free surgical operation for sick. He said he is a kind and generous man.
I'm very happy that he said it in my presence, and it happened in my presence. And I think it was something he said some weeks ago. In NSCT, he said in his 76th birthday that the school director, you should put a project of 120 million for him.
The crusade, which started on Monday, 9th of June 2025, has drawn multitudes to appreciate God for the life of the celebrants. Speaking at the final night, the celebrant, Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo, said as a former iron bender, God saw that he is a hardworking person who is committed to both service for God and humanity, and as such, God blessed the work of his hands, opened many doors of opportunities, and he is now in turn helping millions of people.
Great support for this program. Don't be afraid. What God will do, he will do. Whatever you want to do it for God, don't look at back. I have a friend who are building, who want to build for God. He bought a property to build for God. When I said, God, I build for God.
Speaking at the final night of the crusade, the guest speaker and Secretary General of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Pastor Philemon Arogie, on a sermon titled 7 Keys of Sustaining Liberty, illustrated how Dr. Reverend Matthew Okpebolo has demonstrated the traits of a good Christian in followership, leadership, and loyalty, and how Christian, through patience, like the Dr. Matthew Okpebolo, has obtained the promise of God.
Blessed are called the character trait of Father Abraham. Without raising my daddy up, the reality of my experience with him is that he's a towering saint. One of the ways I describe Abraham is a towering saint. A saint that is standing. I mean, a living legend. In leadership, which is part of my area of ministry, there are 5 levels of leadership. Once you get to the highest level, it is called personhood. You no longer need a name.
Thereafter, Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo, on behalf of his family and foundation, appreciated the organizing committee and the chairman of the committee, Reverend Fred Odije, for the crusade and prayed for every members and guest ministers who came from far and near to celebrate with him.
This program. All of you are this program. You will never be small. Better yesterday. Amen. I didn't hear that. Amen.
Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpebolo will next visit the correctional centers to identify with the inmates. Evelyn Izibile reporting for BeeTv News.
Recent developments have revealed that flood is ravaging several communities and towns. In Abia State, for instance, erosion has carved through a village, cutting off an important road that once connected it to nearby villages. BeeTv News, this report is presented by Esohe Osenwike.
This is what remains of the only road connecting Ohape Umuchima to Umuchima Elulu. What was once a route for trade, school children, and a link has now become a dangerous trench, making passage impossible.
Starting from Orioji, and all the water coming from that end up to Asiama, Mission Hill, they now collapse here. And the more we try to control it, the more it expands. And here we see, you can see what the magnitude of the erosion. I plead with the government of the day, led by His Excellency, Dr. Alex Chioma Oti, to please come to our rescue.
For years, heavy rains have battered the region, washing away soil and widening cracks. Visible distressed residents say they have been left to face the consequences.
Things started after the construction of the gutters in this place.
His Excellency Chioma Alex Oti came on an electioneering campaign in this area. We approached him concerning it, and he said emphatically that if he's elected, that he will definitely do something about it.
On a Friday evening, around about 4 to 4 or 5 o'clock, so I'm not man, I know never is ever. Dick, I have a num, like a GMO job, and he already didn't profit him to put young. Now, Hadika, then when mad, how about I'm saying, Mark, and you know about some woman.
Research shows that Abia State grapples with a significant erosion crisis, with over 30,000 active erosion sites recorded. With the rains forecasted to continue, residents fear the damage could worsen. For now, their plea is simple: help before it is too late. Esohe Osenwike reporting for BeeTv News.
A joint team from the World Bank and the federal government of Nigeria has visited Mokwa local government area of Niger State to commensurate with victims of the recent flood disaster and assess the level of destruction. The visit is part of the World Bank supported Across project, which aims to build resilience in semi-arid landscapes. The report.
Full extent of the devastation caused by the Mokwa flood is still unfolding as affected families continue to seek closure and assistance for resettlement.
I lost about 3 of them, Ibrahim, Khadija and Aisha. Our house has been destroyed already by the flood, so there's nothing. We didn't even, not anything. We couldn't even account for anything there. Nothing.
Kaya dai da ya rage man ke ga wanga kaya shine ya rage mani ko abinci ne ana yi abinci ne ana bani ban da shi wallahi komai an aka yi mamu muna so.
With the area now dried up, what remains is the quiet aftermath of the devastation collapsed homes, empty spaces where lives once thrived, and the daunting task of starting over. A resettlement plan is now in motion to support displaced residents. A delegation led by the World Bank's senior environmental specialist is on ground under the ACAS project to see things for themselves and speak with the people.
As part of the ACRISAL project, we actually have approved the design for the rehabilitation of the gully around here before the flash flood happened. So we came to see whether the design is still adequate. From our assessment, we can say that the design currently will need to be expanded to be able to take on a more catchment management holistic approach. We are still putting our findings together, but the recommendation we have on the spot is to do a reassessment and redesign to be able to accommodate a wider basin catchment management approach.
As part of the visit, a town hall meeting was held to show solidarity with the victims and engage the community on the next step for resettlement and recovery. Sohe Osemeki reporting for BeeTv News.
Over the state of the nation, saying Nigerians are becoming refugees in their own country despite the absence of war. The reports.
NAF Conference Center in Abuja was a hub of political discourse and civic engagement as the Obedience Movement hosted the launch of a new book titled Obi the Political Change Agent, authored by veteran journalist Ike Aboyi. The book explores the political rise of Peter Obi and his impact on Nigeria's democratic landscape. The event brought together political leaders, social advocates, and youth voices, united by shared concern for Nigerians' worsening social economic condition.
We draw inspiration not just from the man, Peter Obi, but from the movement he has catalyzed. A movement that says in one voice, Nigeria must and shall rise again.
Remember that they once said to us that we are only 4 people tweeting in a room. Almost see 4 people where they tweet. And so as we go on today, the thing is that it's not about Mr. Peter Obi. It's not about saying I voted for him, I went home. It's about saying that I as a Nigerian, you as a Nigerian, that when you vote, your vote must be counted. And your vote must be entered. And nobody born of a woman, whether institution, INEC or wherever, we make a difference with that. We thwart your vote.
With the old style of Emiloko, old style of prerogatives, old style of let's come and share the loot, old style of how much can we use to buy this person. You need leaders who are going to go there, understand how the economy is working, and bring people together and create wealth.
Peter Obi also turned his focus to the 2027 election, calling for transparency and warning against any attempt to undermine the democratic process.
Want to make money from politics? Know that you are part of this problem. So don't tell us that you're going, listen, this time around, we will make sure that we are everywhere. We will vote, the vote will count, and those who think they will not count it, will count them.
The Obedience Movement closed the gathering with a call to action, urging Nigerians to reject political structure that in their view has failed to prioritize the welfare of its citizens. Sohe Osemegi reporting for BeeTv News.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has inaugurated a joint task force for market monitoring and regulations. The Executive Vice Chairman and the CEO of the Commission, Tunji Bello, said the inauguration is to protect Nigerian consumers from harmful and unsafe products and also to promote business competitiveness in Nigerian markets. The report.
Section 17 of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018 mandates the Commission to seek ways and means of removing hazardous and unsafe products from Nigerian markets and eliminate obnoxious business practices that are deceptive, unfair, and misleading. This new team hopes to fulfill that mandate with the launch of the first phase of the Joint Task Force. The Directive of Surveillance and Investigation representing the EVC says the first phase will cover 4 major markets in the FCT, including Wuse Market, Garki Modern Market, Garki International Market, and Utako Ultra Modern Market. She says it will subsequently spread across other markets in the nation.
Active market monitoring operations requires all hands to be on deck. That is, the regulators as well as the market union leaders need to come together as a team to make our market work for everyone.
Responding market leaders expressed their commitments while also emphasizing on the need to sensitize traders.
It is part of our responsibility to see how we can all team up together to sanitize this environment. It's a soft target, and it's where, if care is not taken, it has the possibility of spreading around every bit of harmful goods taken into the market.
There was also a solicitation for cooperation by the general public in providing credible information and intelligence that will aid in the success of the Joint Task Force.
Let me also say, however, that as you are running business, some of us don't have time to look at what the law says. But ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
We welcome their idea of calling us for a meeting today. And as you can see, there is already understanding on ground. And we hope to continue the understanding as we agreed with each other.
The Commission says this effort will help to build trust between buyers and sellers while ensuring Nigerians access to quality goods. Evelyn Izibili reporting for BeeTv News.
With the rainy season, residents have been advised to maintain good hygiene and a clean environment to stay. A practitioner who gave the advice while speaking with BeeTv News, Osarogi Agwebo, noted the health risks that come with the rainy season include waterborne diseases, mosquito-borne illnesses, and which lead to complications, morbidity, and deaths. The report.
The rainy season is a period of the year characterized by significant rainfall. This season, often referred to as calm and friendly, frequently sees many people fall ill. According to a medical practitioner at the Edo Specialist Hospital, Dr. Eikyoya Eustins said the rainy season poses significant health risks, including waterborne diseases and mosquito-borne illnesses. He explained that unclean environments such as stagnant water and butching surroundings facilitate mosquito breeding, and when they bite, they can transmit fever to humans, particularly affecting pregnant women and children. He said the season sees other illnesses, including waterborne diseases like cholera and infectious diseases such as chickenpox and tuberculosis, which he said could lead to complications, morbidity, and death.
Anopheles mosquitoes, so when they bite the individual during blood meal, they actually transfer what we call sporozoid. Sporozoid is actually an effective agent for the malaria. So, and this sporozoid is transmitted from the blood to the liver, where they develop to form various agents that will be released by the liver, and which will now enter the bloodstream, and that is what is usually called the fever, elevated temperature, the vomiting, weakness, joint pain, muscle pain, and inability to eat, and all that. Chickenpox, what we call varicella zoster virus. So this is also the time for increase the prevalence of chickenpox, especially when there is a contact, there is prolonged contact with somebody that have the conditions. So there is increased chances of having or contacting the disease, the chickenpox. So like that, we advised pregnant women to avoid a patient with chickenpox as much as possible, and also children. They should avoid people with chickenpox because it's airborne and they can acquire the disease through either direct contact or just by exposure.
Dr. Eikioya Eustace advised residents to maintain a balanced diet, practice good hygiene, and visit a doctor for proper examination to ensure their health is protected from illnesses and infections that are prevalent during the rainy season.
All important advice is what? Adequate diet. And again, hygiene, good hygiene. Good hygiene, but you should wash your hands before eating, avoid contaminated water, avoid contaminated foods. All that can cause cholera, which also come on this period. Contaminated food and water, and typhoid and cholera, like contaminated food and water. So you must make sure your food is clean, your water is clean, and you avoid eating cold food as much as possible. At least warm your food, and that will help to kill some of the germs.
As the rainy season is still ongoing, it is expected that residents will heed to the health advice to safeguard their health against waterborne diseases and other illnesses. Osarogie Agwebo reporting for BeeTv News.
And now we'll be taking a short break. Do stay with us.
75 years of faith and service, a daughter's heartfelt tribute. Dear Dad, Right Reverend Dr. Matthew Opelu, happy 75th birthday. Your lifelong devotion to ministry, education, and community upliftment has shaped countless lives, including my own. I remember your early morning devotions and how your thoughtful counsel taught me integrity and compassion. Through your scholarship program, you opened doors for hundreds of students, and your quiet support support, whether funding the law library at Edo State University or covering school fees, eased financial burdens across Edo State. Equally impactful is your passion for youth vocational training, which has empowered aspiring artisans and strengthened our community's economy. You have shown me that true leadership comes from selfless service rather than titles. On behalf of everyone at the Board of Technical and Vocational Education and Training, and most of all as your daughter, I thank you for inspiring us to pursue excellence and uplift others. May God bless you with continued health, wisdom, and joy as you extend this remarkable legacy of service. With all my love and gratitude, Barrister Mrs. Onome Briggs, Executive Chairman, Edo State Board of Technical and Vocational Education and Training.
The George Osagede Foundation presents free medical outreach featuring free medical checkup for BP, free medical checkup for wider tests, and free fasting blood sugar tests. Do you or someone you know have eye problem? Come for a free eye checkup and treatment. Date Saturday 14th June 2025. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Obarating Community, Kilometer 19, Benin Saple Road, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. There will also be free drugs and glasses for patients. For inquiries, call 0905 040 3943. This free eye treatment outreach is brought to you by the George Osagede Foundation. Signed, Ambassador George Osagede, CEO and founder, the George Osagede Foundation.
Paddy Iyamu, Edo State Commissioner for Education. A new special invitation. In line with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Renewed Hope Agenda, the Edo State Government and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) invites the general public to the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the internal campus road network of Edo State Polytechnic, Usen. After 23 years of its establishment, join His Excellency Senator Monday Okwebolo, Executive Governor of Edo State, as he performs the groundbreaking ceremony. Special guest of honor, Dr. Samuel Obuku, Managing Director, Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), Dr. George Uzonwanne, Director, Education, Health and Social Services (NDDC). Date Saturday 14th June 2025. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Venue Edo State Polytechnic, Ose Campus Open Field. Signed, Dr. Paddy Iyamu, Edo State Commissioner for Education. A new Edo has risen. Join the train.
From the heart of Ray Royal Construction Company Limited comes a resounding celebration of an extraordinary man, our chairman, our founder, our father in leadership and legacy, Right Reverend Dr. Matthew Okwebolo. Today we raise our voices in thanksgiving and joy as you mark your 75th birthday. 75 glorious years of grace, vision, purpose, and impact. Since 1976, you laid the first blocks of what is now a household name in civil construction and engineering excellence. You are not just a builder of infrastructure, but a builder of men. A pastor, a bishop emeritus, a mentor, a philanthropist, a husband, a father, a grandfather, and to many of us, a living example of what godly leadership truly means. Your unwavering commitment to giving back shines again through the Matthew Okwebolo Foundation, as 1,000 final year students in Edo State are set to receive financial support to complete their projects. The 100 million naira geriatric center donated to ERA Specialist Teaching Hospital, Prisoners Regaining Freedom, free medical support project, the Gospel Crusades, free roads and infrastructural projects to all universities, whether federal, state, or privately owned, the empowerment scheme, to just mention these. From the management and staff of Ray Royal Construction Company Limited, we wish you a joyful 75th birthday, Right Reverend Dr. Matthew Okwebolo, our founder, our father, our inspiration. Happy 75th birthday, sir.
Welcome back from that short break. And now moving on to business news. Nigeria recorded a trade surplus of 5.172 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2025, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS. In another development, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has denied exchange of the extending deadline for Bureau de Change (BDC) operators to meet new recapitalization requirements. Let's now join BeeTv News SOL Senwige for details on this and more from the business world.
The NBS report title showed total trade rose to 36.2 trillion compared to 33.92 trillion in the same period of 2024, representing a 6.19% increase. Export amounted to 20.598 trillion, accounting for 57.18% of total trade and reflecting a 7.42% rise over Q1 2024. Impact stood at 15.426 trillion, up 4.59% from the same period last year, and down 7.2% from Q4 2024. Crude oil exports remained dominant, valued at 12.955 trillion and representing 62.89% of total exports. True non-crude oil exports stood at 7.643 trillion, while non-oil products contributed 3.167 trillion or 15.38%. China was Nigeria's top import partner in Q1 2025, followed by India and the United States. The Central Bank of Nigeria has denied extending the deadline for Bureau de Change operators to meet new recapitalization requirements. In a statement issued by Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Mrs. Akama Sidi Ali, the ABIS Bank reaffirmed that the deadline remains June 3, 2025, as previously announced. The statement describes circulating claims of a December 31st extension as false and misleading. Under the new guidelines introduced in February 2024, Tier 1 BDCs must meet a minimum capital requirement of 2 billion, while Tier 2 operators are required to raise at least 500 million. The CBN urged stakeholders to rely on official communication channels for updates and emphasized its commitment to regulatory transparency, narrow stability, and integrity in the foreign exchange market. Failure to meet the recapitalization requirement within the stipulated time frame may result in the revocation of operating license. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) plans to make 4 major final investment decisions by the fourth quarter of 2025, according to its April 2025 monthly report. The project includes the Untakon Development Project, Crude Oil Production Expansion Project, Gas Development Project, and the Brass Fertilizer Project. These initiatives are part of NNPCL's broader strategy to boost oil and gas production, enhance energy diversification, and meet domestic fertilizer demand. Crude oil and condensate production declined to 1.61 million barrels per day in April 2025, while natural gas production rose to 7,354 million standard cubic feet per day. NNPCL reported 5.89 trillion in revenue for April and 748 billion in profit after tax. Q1 2025 statutory payment totaled 4.225 trillion. Aliko Dangote will retire as chairman of Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC, effective June 16, 2025, after 2 decades at the helm. The announcement was made in a corporate statement signed by Company Secretary Temitokpe Asan. The company said the move aligns with succession planning and corporate governance principles. Dangote, a founding director, led the company through significant growth and oversaw major backward integration projects in Adamawa, Taraba, and Nasarawa State to enhance domestic sugar production. The board credited him with shaping the company's strategy, fostering shareholder value, and building a strong foundation for sustained growth. And that is all on the business news segment for tonight. Soher Osemegi reporting for BeeTv News.
And now to the global scenes, where on June 12, 2025, an Air India flight bound for London crashed shortly after taking off from Ahmedabad, India, killing or injuring several people. Also, for the first time in 2 decades, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has declared that Iran is not meeting its nuclear non-proliferation obligations. The report.
On the 12th of June 2025, an Air India flight bound for London crashed shortly after taking off from Ahmedabad, India, killing or injuring several people. The Boeing 7878 Dreamliner went down in a residential area, hitting a doctor's hostel near the airport. Emergency teams responded quickly and rescue efforts are ongoing. Clear weather ruled out environmental factors as a cause, and the plane lost contact at 625 feet. On board were mostly Indian and British nationals, with a few from Portugal and Canada. Both Indian and UK authorities have set up crisis response teams, and leaders from both countries have expressed their condolences. Boeing, the plane's manufacturer, has acknowledged the incident and is investigating. This marks the first major crash involving a Dreamliner, a model with a previously strong safety record, and the cause remains under investigation. For the first time in 2 decades, the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) has declared that Iran is not meeting its nuclear non-proliferation obligations. A resolution passed by the IAEA Board of Governors could eventually lead to Iran being referred to the UN Security Council. This follows a recent report criticizing Iran for a lack of cooperation and concerns over secret nuclear activities. Iran's former foreign minister warned European nations against supporting the resolution, promising a strong response. The situation threatens to derail ongoing US-Iran negotiations on reviving the 2015 nuclear deal, which was abandoned by former President Trump in 2018. Since then, Iran has increasingly violated the deal's terms, including enriching uranium to near weapons-grade levels. The IAEA now reports that Iran possesses enough enriched uranium to potentially produce 9 nuclear bombs, further escalating tensions in the Middle East. Man in her 30s was arrested for trespassing after attempting to break into BTS member John Cook's home in Seoul, just hours after his discharge from mandatory military service. She had flown to South Korea specifically to see him and was caught trying to unlock his apartment door late at night. John Cook, along with 3 other BTS members, was recently released from military duty, sparking excitement among fans and speculation about a potential group comeback. BTS, who went on a hiatus in 2022, is expected to reunite once all members complete their service by the end of the month. The group's military enlistment had previously stirred national debate over whether they should be exempt due to their massive cultural and economic contributions. The United States has launched a review of the AUKUS security pact with the UK and Australia, which includes the sale of Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarines to Australia. This review, aimed at aligning the agreement with the current administration's America First policy, raises questions about continued US commitment to the deal signed in 2021. While the US is urging allies to increase military spending, Australia has resisted calls to reach the 3.5% GDP targets. Despite this, both the UK and Australia remain confident in the pact's future, viewing the review as routine under a new administration. Critics in the US argue that sharing such advanced submarine technology could strain its own defense capabilities, especially amid concerns about potential conflict with China over Taiwan. However, the deal is seen as vital for boosting Australia's long-range military reach and for maintaining Western influence in the Indo-Pacific, which China has strongly opposed. And that is all from the global scenes. Harmony Agbafor reporting for BeeTv News.
And that is the size of our news package. Many thanks for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6. My name is Harmony Agbafor, and thank you.